Hello, everybody. Dave Finale here. Real Estate Talk TGIF, episode 86. 86, a special number for me. It's my daughter's birthday. And she's going to hit the big 3-0 this August. And just so happy about that. And I've got a daughter that old. I don't look, much older than her. But anyway, side point. Real Estate Talk TGIF. We all know what the TGIF stands for. And it stands for, that's right, thank God it's finale. And here we are. We're ready to rock and roll. And I like to go through with passion and stuff. And I've got the man, the myth, the legends, TM, the man, the myth, the legend, TMTL, Ricky Carruth. Ricky, thanks so much for coming on today.
For sure, David. Thanks for having me, bro.
Good. So Ricky, you've been in this business a while. You've been the top RE/MAX agent in Alabama a bunch of times. But you had to start somewhere. And I always love to start these TGIFs with the story of the person I'm talking to. So if you could give us like a rundown of where you started the business, did it work all the way? Did you just rise to success? What happened with Ricky Carruth and where'd it go?
Well, long story short, I got in real estate when I was 20. Okay, grew up roofing houses with my father. And made a lot of money before I was 23. The market exploded during that time, 2002, 2003, 2004. And made a lot of money. Thought, hey, I'm done with this roofing thing. I'm a retired real estate agent now. I'm a real estate mogul. And then the market crashed, right? Kind of got the rug swept out from under my feet and lost everything within about a year and a half. Held on as long as I could. I was flipping a lot of properties, borrowing a lot of money, doing a lot of things wrong, buying a lot of houses and cars and stuff. And, lost everything, went back to roofing houses. So at 23, I'm a self-made billionaire. By 25, I've lost everything, back to roofing houses, and ended up landing a job in an oil rig.
An oil rig?
Yeah, I did that for a year. 2007, the entire year of 2007. And then from there, I decided I was going to really try to figure out. I didn't know at that time. I was like, am I going to work in the oil field? Is that going to be my career for the rest of my life? I was really kind of at the crossroads. But I did still have my real estate license. I was still trying to.
Oh, lost you. Hold on, folks. It seems here we are. Just as you said, Ricky. You're back. Here we are.
Yeah. So anyway, losing everything, sleeping out of my car, sleeping on friends' couches, working on an oil rig, it'll teach you a lot about yourself. And I ended up reading over 100 books over about a 2-year period and realized the reason I lost everything is because I only focused on the deal and the money and the closings and the transactions.
Right.
So there was a switch somewhere that flipped, and I realized I needed to build my business on people, not deals. And so in 2008, I was laid off from the oil rig, kind of forced back into real estate, and just started building my business the right way. So, 2008, 2009, 2010, just kept building. And by 2014, I was the #1 RE/MAX agent in Alabama. I hit it 2 more times and still going, man. Been selling 100 properties a year since 2014. That's averaging 2 a week, 2 closings a week, every week since 2014.
Wow.
And yeah, single agent, just one assistant for real estate. And, 3 years ago, I wrote 2 books and got into coaching and became the first completely free coach. And just sharing how I built my business, which is valuing the people over the deals and building a huge database and developing your personal brand. And just hoping that agents can grab that and do something with it. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm traveling around speaking a lot now. I'm still selling. Still closing 100 deals a year. This year started out really strong, extremely strong. I normally keep about 10 to 20 pending deals. and maybe 30 to 50 active listings. That's kind of where I stay, and just having fun at this point. You know what I mean?
Right. So you got back into real estate in 2008 and you started building there. Wasn't there a lot of fear involved with? That was when the shit hit the fan, so to speak, right? And everything was not going well for the real estate industry. Tell me how you pushed through that and what you did differently that others may not have done.
Well, that was when the best deals were here. You know, that was when the cheapest prices were going on. It was really easy to sell properties during that time. It's like, hey, do you want something that's 50% less than what it was a couple years ago? Great. I got, take your pick. You know, I got plenty. So it was really easy to sell properties during that time, you know, extremely easy. So it was a really good time to get back in the business and, you know, get my feet planted. A lot of agents had gotten out of the business like me, so there was less competition, so to speak.
Right.
You know, and there was a lot of good deals out there. So, you know, it was it depends on how you look at it, you know, and truth be known too, it's kind of weird thinking back and saying this, but I was completely ignorant, let's say, and completely blind of anything going on with the stock market. Like I watched the stock market zero. I didn't even realize there was a stock market crash in 2008. I didn't realize that until years later when I had enough money to actually invest in the stock market that I actually started studying and learning all this stuff that had happened, you know? So I wasn't even paying attention to all that. To me, the market crashed in 05. That's when prices started to go down and I lost everything, you know? So 2008 was my rebound year to get back in the business and start really building a strong foundation, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that. And one of the things you said earlier was you built your business by treating people right. Talk to me about what you mean by that, because it's a little, I mean, everybody, look, people says, well, I want to help people and I give the greatest customer service. And you know what? I hear it and I roll my eyes because everybody's saying the same thing. But you actually did something differently. You actually talked to people a different way. So talk to me about how you talk to people that was a little different than what everybody else did.
Well, I think that going into the conversation or the relationship, that you really don't care if they do a deal or not. You know, you're not there to necessarily do a deal, you know, because at the end of the day, business is unlimited. Closings happen every day.
Right.
You know, there's plenty of business out there.
Right.
You know, nobody's going to do a deal with you unless they know who you are and they feel comfortable with you.
Right.
So your number one job in sales is to make your prospects feel comfortable with you. If you can't get there, then we're not even going to get to the part of doing business. You know, they're not going to do business with you if they don't feel comfortable with you. So you have to communicate in a way that makes people feel comfortable with you. And, you know, you have to be genuine about the fact that you're there to actually help them. Like you're literally there not to try to close them. You're there first and foremost to make them feel comfortable with who you are. And then through that, once they feel comfortable and we've broken through that barrier, now we can find out why they want to buy, why they want to sell, why they want to do what they're trying to do, and then tell them what we can do to help them do that. You know, so that's kind of the step-by-step process. And, you know, most training out there is teaching agents how to high pressure people and how to figure out what the prospect can do for the agent.
So, sorry, I'm just,
it's okay. What I want to do is teach agents how to figure out what they can do for the prospect, not what the prospect can do for them. You know, so it's a 180 of what mainstream training, real estate training will teach you. But you know, I think what I'm teaching is slowly becoming a mainstream thing.
I think so too. I mean, I think the biggest thing when people want to get in and want to get their real estate license and become real estate agents, a lot of them think it's going to be, oh yeah, I can sell a house, I can do this, I can do that. But one of the things they don't understand is that the necessity of having to generate business. Okay, I noticed I didn't use the word lead generation; those two words together. It's generate business and generate relationships. Let's call it that, right? But there's always going to be the fear and that trepidation. I mean, how did you do it? I mean, was it phone calls you made? Was it Was it door knocking? What was that one of the things that you did to generate your relationships?
Listen, man, top producers do three things really well. They talk to the most people with the best intentions and build the biggest personal brand around that. So when I'm evaluating a real estate agent's business, you know, sure, I want to know how many closings and listings you got going on and stuff. But more so, I want to know how many calls you're making. That out of that, how many are you actually talking to? And then out of the people you're talking to, how many did you actually connect with on a deeper level? So the amount of calls you make tells me where your work ethic is. Okay. Then out of the people you talk to, the amount you connected with, say you made 100 calls. Okay, that's decent. How often are you making those 100 calls? Out of those 100 calls, you're talking to 15 people. So out of the 15, how many did you actually connect with? Are you connected with, 5 or 2 or 3 or 8? Those are the numbers I need to know, because that tells me where your work ethic is, how bad you want it. And then it tells me where your communication skills are, so then I can dive into where we're having a problem. Are we not making enough calls, or are we not talking to people the right way with the best intentions and making them feel comfortable, or is it a combination of both?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, man, there's so many ways to skin a cat. There's so many different ways you can, lead generate. You can do for sale by owners, expire, circle prospecting, internet leads, sphere of influence, open houses, social media. There's so many things that you can do. I think the most effective is let's pick out the exact property owners that own the exact price range, the exact type of property we want to sell that's really close to our office. We don't really have to drive too far whenever we have to show properties and stuff. Let's talk to the people who already own the type of property we want to sell, right? And let's get those prospects for the cheapest price. Okay.
When you get those prospects for the cheapest price, you're talking about ads?
No, I'm talking about pick out a neighborhood and get all the owners' contact information.
And that's costing you almost nothing, right?
Right, almost nothing. It's 2.5 cents per property owner, right? As opposed to paying $3 for a Facebook lead, or $100 or $200 for a Zillow lead for random people we don't even know where they're at.
Okay, so you're doing the research and you're determining who's got is it you're just taking a geographical area, or you're doing the research to see who possibly might be, like, in terms of age, that they're there, or their equity.
I don't care about any of that, my guy. I don't care about any of that, my guy. And I'm not worried about trying to do a bunch of research and waste a bunch of time that I should be making calls and see what I can do to help people. I'm going to find a subdivision that has the average price point in the market, and then I'm going to call those owners. Real simple stuff.
That's the point I was trying to get to. That you're not doing all this complicated stuff to get to it, and it's a lot easier said than done. Am I right?
It depends on how you look at it. Again, if you tell yourself that it's hard, then it will be. Okay. People look at phone calls and say, "Oh, it's people hang up on you, they cuss you out, they reject you and stuff," and it's like, that's fun.
Okay, so before this call, I am on a role play call with a bunch of agents I work with, along with my colleague, and then we talk about different things. We're role playing and script practicing and all that stuff. And the question I ask, and I keep asking just to get it through to people, is it was fun when you would talk to people. How do you get over the initial fear, butterflies, all that stuff, picking up the phone the first time? Because let's face it, Ricky, the hardest thing in the world, the heaviest thing in the world is not a dumbbell or a weight or whatever it is. The heaviest thing in the world is the phone, because you've got to pick it up to use it, correct?
Right.
So go ahead.
Well, I mean, you don't get over that. Why are you trying to get over it?
Just so you don't have an excuse. Oh, they're going to hang up on me anyway, or I don't feel like doing it, or I'm afraid, or I've heard all the excuses.
Yeah, if you're going to make that excuse, you'll just come up with another one right behind it. You know, if you eliminate that one, you'll come up with another one and another one and another one. If you're just making excuses and not taking action, then you're not going to make it. I mean, there's no way around that. You know, there are excuse makers out there when all they do is make excuses and don't take action, and there's nothing to cure them. They're going to be like that the rest of their life. So you gotta decide: are you one of those people, or are you somebody like me who just does stuff and doesn't ask questions or make excuses? You know, what you need to ask those agents is, do you have kids? You know, do you have children? Do you have a family you got to take care of? Okay, you do. Ooh, ouch. Because what you're telling me is that you're not willing to feel just a little uncomfortable to provide a better life for them. That's about the most selfish act that you can find in real estate, are people who are foreclosing on their house and they won't make a phone call. And they're about to lose their house and their family's about to be living with their grandparents, you know, and they still won't make a phone call. They won't do you know, it's just so easy just to call people and say, how are you doing? A house around the corner sold. Is there something I could do for you? And you do that thousands and thousands and thousands of times and build a database, you know, and then do a weekly email behind it to keep everybody in touch with you and become the #1 agent in the world.
So you get over the fear, or you don't get over it, and it's just, this is my job. This is what I have to do to provide for my family, and this is what it is. Whether it's business or not, this is what I do, right? That's what you're talking about, right?
What I'm talking about is that when I first started making calls, I was scared. And every single person is scared. So what makes you so special that you don't think you have to be scared? Everything you're going to do in life is just going to be easy? You know what I mean? I mean, is everything supposed to be just easy peasy? You want to create this amazing life for yourself, you know, but it's supposed to be easy, and it's supposed to be done on your terms. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. That the numbers don't add up there. Something's not connecting. You know what I mean?
So what was the thing that pushed you through when you first started? You had the fear. What was the thing that pushed you through?
There wasn't really anything that pushed me through. I wanted to be the best.
It was desire. It was desire and commitment.
Yeah, there was never a question. I mean, there was never a question of if I'm going to do something or not.
Right.
You know, I mean, there was nothing to push through. I mean, it was, you know, the only time you're going to grow in life is being in uncomfortable places. You know, making calls are uncomfortable, but you have to do it to get to the next level. You know, public speaking, uncomfortable, but you got to do it to get to the next level. You know, posting on Facebook and doing live videos, it's uncomfortable, but you got to do it. You know, so you can either grow or you can just stay the same and keep making excuses. It's really your choice. You know, the whole game is set up for you to win big time. All the infrastructure's there. The people are there, ready to do deals with you. Exactly. You know, all the advertising avenues are there, ready for you to take advantage of. Everything's just set right there on a platter for you. All you got to do is just go do it. You know? Absolutely. So you're either going to do it or you're not. It's right there.
Exactly. So you mentioned earlier, just to go to a different topic, you mentioned earlier that you wrote a couple of books, and you had 2 books, one List to Last and one Zero to Diamond. Tell me about List to Last, why you wrote that book, what's in that book, and what's the value that most can get out of that? Well,
when I wrote Zero to Diamond first, in 2016, I started writing it. And, you know, when I went through the crash and came back and then, you know, lost everything and then came back and then started selling 100 properties a year in 2014, I was thinking, is this really real? Because I made it and lost it before. So I was wondering, am I going to lose it again this time? You know? So I gave it 2 more years to 2016 before I said, I sold 100 properties a year for 3 years before I decided, okay, this is real enough to share with the world, right? A lot of coaches have been selling for 2 years and closed on 9 properties, and now they're selling courses and books. You know, I actually made it, lost it, came back, made it again, then stayed there for 3 years before I decided to write a book, because it's real stuff. So Zero to Diamond is kind of like the basics of my philosophies. And when I sent that to the editor to get edited, I was like, oh no, I forgot all this other stuff that's still in my head. So I literally wrote List to Last before he got done editing the first one. I basically just traded him.
Right.
Zero to Diamond was edited, give him List to Last to edit. And I published 2 books back to back in 2017. And List to Last, Zero to Diamond was the basics of my philosophies. Zero to Diamond is the title's actually List to Last, How to Survive Every Real Estate Market Crash. And it's literally everything I learned through the crash, that enabled me to, like I said, I got back in 08 and during the worst time, and that's where I built my business, so everything I learned through there is in that book. And, I got over 25,000 agents in my coaching program that are just absolutely killing it.
Is there with methods and procedures, does everything work everywhere? Like, does what works in Alabama going to work in Minnesota? Is going to work in California? Is going to work in New Jersey? Because a lot of people, when they work with a coach or they get a training system, or they like these webinar junkies that look at all this crap and buy this crap, they think that, oh, that's not going to work here. Oh, I tried it. It didn't work because we're in New Jersey or we're in Arizona. What do you think about that?
No, it works in Finland. It works in Brazil. It works in Portugal. It works in Paraguay. It works in South Africa. It works in the UK. It works in Australia. I have coaching clients all over the world. The bottom line is that relationships are universal. People just want to know that somebody cares about them, and that they want someone that's going to make them feel comfortable enough to handle this huge investment for them. And so it's not necessarily the nuts and bolts of how I do and my systems and everything. It's more of how do we communicate with people. See, the Zero to Diamond coaching program is based around helping people and communicating who we are as humans, that we're there to help, right? And not being high pressure, knowing when to strike, of course, that 5% high pressure. We want to know when to strike, of course. We want to strike, we want to close, but not so soon. We want to more get to know people and find out what's going on. And through that, you close more deals. I have a guy that first year in the business, he found me before he got his license. He closed 100 deals his first year, made $500,000.
Wow. I
have countless, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents who doubled their income from 2018 to 2019, doubled their income. Countless testimonials and of people all over the country, in New York and California and LA, Mississippi, Florida, Miami, all over the place. And so you take what I'm doing and you may have to tweak it a little for your area, of course.
The answer.
You have to tweak any program to at least your personality, right? This is based around taking your personality and using that personality as your strength, as your uniqueness, as your value add to the public, right? This is who you are, and nobody else is like you, and we're going to use that to attract clients and customers. So yeah, it works all over the world.
So oh geez, I forgot what I was going to say. So if there was one thing that an agent could do to build their business, where would they start? If there's where should an agent start to build their business to have, to do 100 deals a year? Where's the starting point?
Listen, man, I have it all laid out. ZeroToDiamond.com, bro. You go there. There's a 90-day action plan. There's a free course. You do the course. You do the 28-day challenge. You finish the 90 days, and you email me, and I get on a call with you, and I see how the 90 days went and where we need to go from there. This is all free. I laid out the blueprint for exactly what to do. This is for new agents, experienced agents, anybody that's trying to take their business to another level. It's right there for you. So that would be, and this is free. I'm not selling anything, just so you know. But that would be where I would go as far as just a one-stop shop, just to explode your business and get where I am. But to answer your question, for me, if I could just do a couple things, you know, I could blow up. Circle prospect 75% of the time, do expireds 25% of the time, and do a weekly email to everybody I talk to forever. If I did those, those three things right there.
To piggyback off of what you're saying is, I believe that there's basically 5, 6, 7 pillars that you work your business on, and you just mentioned them all for the most part, including social media. And one of the things I've seen and I've actually done is you circle prospect, and that's all you do. And what I mean by that is you're circle prospecting around an open house to call all the FSBOs and expireds, and your sphere of influence to tell them about an open house you're working on. That's one basic method that's really worked really well, and it handles all the pillars. And your objective is just to, you know, tell them what's going on in the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. You're informing them of what's going on and ask them if there's anything you can do to help them. Here it is right here. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Hey, is this Mr. Johnson? Hey, Mr. Johnson, this is Ricky Carruth, the Remix of Orange Beach. How you doing today? Good. I'm enjoying the day. Isn't it gorgeous? Cool. Well, look, I don't want to take too much of your time, but a house around the corner just sold from you. Didn't know if there's anything in the world I could do for you. No? Well, cool. Is there an agent you would work with if you were to do something? No? Cool. Well, look, I'm sure at some point in the future you're going to do something, right? Cool. I would love the opportunity to work with you when that day comes. Would it be all right if I just stayed in touch with you? I can? Great. What's a good email for you? Is this your cell number? Boom, bam. Now we're going to take that information along with that incredibly first impression you just made on him where you didn't try to sell him anything. And we're gonna use that to build personal brand with a weekly email, maybe a weekly text, maybe some social media, but we can target them with that data for the rest of their life and stay in front of them until they decide to do something. Now they're coming back to you. Now you're creating a business where you're attracting business. You're not having it. You're building personal brand that attracts business rather than trying to make a sale after sale. Because when you're in sales, you're only good as your last sale. Then you got to go make another sale and another sale. But when you build personal brand, you're building an attraction agent business where people are coming to you, which is what I built, which is why I'm able to do shows like this and still sell 100 properties a year because they're coming to me at this point.
Right. So you're not exactly. So you've built up your relationships already by doing all that work. And people say, well, people see agents such as yourself that are, I mean, you look cool, calm, and collected. There's no stress in you. I can see it, right? Mm. But what you've done, I think the reason you have that is because of what you just said. You've done the work, you put the time in, and you've built up relationships, and you keep doing it by what you do, right?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people say, oh, Ricky, 100 deals a year, bada bing, bada boom. Well, the thing is, you know, let's go back and let you do what I've done for the last 20 years, right? Let's let you go through dialing 100,000 phone numbers with your finger because there were no such thing as dialers, automatic dialers.
That's right, they weren't.
Let's let you look up all those numbers, copying and pasting addresses into whitepages.com and bigfoot.com and Spokio. Let's let you do all that to get where I'm at, and let's see how you really feel about where I am. Because everybody sees me doing 100 deals a year, but they don't realize the 15 hours a day for 15 years, you know, grinding that I had to put in to get here. See what I'm saying?
I do. So, you mean there's no magic bullet? There's no magic pill?
There is. There is.
There is.
Oh, absolutely. There's this thing. It's called ZeroToDiamond.com, and you go there, and it's like it really is like magic. I had a guy sell 100 properties in his very first year. His name is Quintavious Burdett. You guys can look him up. This dude sold 100 properties in his first year. It took me 12 years to get to 100 deals a year. 12 years. This dude took my system, and what it does is it compresses and it tells you everything that it took me 2 decades to learn on my own. It compresses it and gives it to you on a platter. And if you'll just do it, then you could potentially do 100 deals a year. What he did is he called 200 people a day. He dialed 200 people a day using my script, and he tried to meet 50 people a week in public. He did that for a year straight, and he sold 100 properties.
That's just amazing, and that's commitment. That's commitment. So you need the commitment. Did he set goals for that, or he just decided this?
Yeah. He wanted to sell 20 million in real estate his first year, and everybody told him he was crazy, but he did it. So they're not saying he's crazy anymore.
What does mindset have to do with all this? Anything at all?
It's everything. You know, knowing that business is unlimited and competition from the other agents doesn't exist. Like, you're not in competition with the other agents, because nobody can talk to every single person in your market ever. So you're seeing how there's more humans in your market than you could ever talk to ever in your life, and create relationships with and develop and, help and so on and so forth. It creates a situation where it's just unlimited, and it doesn't matter what any other agent's doing. If you lose a listing to another agent, what to do? Go get 5 more. It's incredibly, it's amazing how limited agents hold themselves. Like they hold themselves down so far from what's really possible. And if they would open up and quit worrying about everybody else and just focus on them, and how many people can we talk to per day, like I said at the top of at the hour, and then how many people we talking to with the best intentions to build that personal brand. Boom, that's it. It's really simple. Everything out there that's trying to complicate real estate is literally just a program or a coach trying to sell you something.
Absolutely. Well, what do you think the value, or is there value to having that morning ritual, gratitude, the whole thing, affirmations? Is that something that you were able to use to motivate yourself, or no?
Everybody's different, man. I get up and go to work immediately. I don't have time to think about, I do what I want to do every day. So I'm enjoying life every day. I'm enjoying every second of every day. I'm doing this interview because I want to, not because I have to. Everything I do is because I want to. So, I'm just having fun, like I said earlier. I don't need affirmations to change my mindset, to enjoy the day more, or to understand this or understand that. I already know what it is. Everything's unlimited. It's all based on how much you want to work, right? And how much you can mentally handle. What's your mental capacity? How much can you handle at once, right? And if you can find how much you can handle mentally, right? Overwhelm yourself with business, find out where your breaking point is, stay right there at the top of what you can handle at all times. Do that for about 3 to 5 years to reach your full potential, then you'll get there. You know what I mean?
I do know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I think the thing that would bother most people coming on and just hearing your last comment was that 3 to 5 years, I got to wait that long?
That's such a short period of time, my guy.
I know.
It's such a short period of time. I mean, it's such a short period of time. Like that 3 to 5 years is going to go by regardless if you put the work in to get where you want to be in that 5 years or not. You're going to be 1 year older next year and another year older than that. It's going to happen. There's no way to stop time or to reverse time. So why not spend it building something that is going to put your life on a whole nother level? Why not? I don't know. What's the alternative? Being lazy and making excuses and not having the life you want to live later. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, one thing, let's get one thing straight. You might have a couple more years left than I do. Who knows? I mean, you're just, who knows, you don't know how much time you got left. So you got to go for what you want. The 4-letter word you just used was lazy. And I know a lot of people really hesitate from using that word simply because, nobody wants to get offended or they want to offend anybody. But honestly, making excuses and being lazy is probably one of the biggest things. I did a quick video, I believe it was yesterday, where I talked about when someone says, I'm busy. And basically what that means to me is that they don't want to, or there's not enough value in it for them, or they don't see the value in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of people wanting to do it. And, nowadays the difference in life today, and when I was learning about a lot of different things, was when you had a 9-to-5 job, you actually started working at 9. You didn't get there at 9 and start at 9:30. It's the same thing with this business, which brings me to another question. What is the best way, excuse me, what is the best way for an agent to really get going? Is it scheduling time? Is it time blocking? How did you do it? And was that a piece of how you became successful?
Dude, listen, man, I don't think it's about trying to figure it out because everybody's trying to figure it out. Just do stuff. Just stay busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go do it. You know, quit trying to figure out how to do it. Quit trying to figure out what you should do. Just go do stuff. Because a lot of people say, should I call this or call that? Should I do this or do that? Do both. Do all of it or do one or the other. It doesn't matter. You can't lose either way as long as you're taking action. It doesn't matter if it's wrong, if it's right. If it's wrong, you're going to learn something from it, right? And if it's right, then you hit a winner. But either way it goes, you won. You know, if you do the wrong thing, then you know that, that was the wrong thing. Okay, boom, we learned that lesson. Now that lesson you learned from that being the wrong thing is so valuable. I mean, that's worth X amount of money that you don't do that again and that you do this next time. It's all part of the process, you know, and until you try it yourself, you're never going to know, hey, this might work for me, but it might not work for you. If this might not work for me, it might work for you. So everybody's different. Just take action, right?
It doesn't, you don't know it until you do it. I mean, if you're going to hem and haw about it, you're never going to do it because that's called the old disease of getting ready to get ready and asking questions. I mean, asking questions is important, right? But you just got to go and do the work.
I mean, to answer your question, it depends on where they are in their career. You know, are you brand new? You don't know anything? Are you 3 years in the business and you're doing 25 deals a year and you're trying to figure out how to get it to 50? Or are you at 50 trying to get to 100? You know, what's the safety net on the backside of your business? How do you stay in touch with people after the deal or after you show them property? You know, what's your process on getting new leads and so on and so forth? There's so many variables there that I have to know before I can say, okay, this is what you need to do. You know what I mean? There's just so much more to it than how do you do it? Do you time block? Do you do this? Do you do that? You know, at the end of the day, like I said, you just get up and you start running and you run all day until you go to bed. You know what I mean? Like you either want to put in the work or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a matter of doing the work and being concentrated on. We got several comments I want to throw out to you as Kim Morelli is on, Dominique Edwards is on, saying Diamond Edwards. Avo is looking for the link to your course. I think it's 0todiamond.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Matt DeFady is on with many comments. Hey, Matt, how are you? Mindset is everything. He says, congrats on the baby. I do as well. And Matt says something really controversial, not controversial, but what I just said, most agents are lazy. It's true. Sam Hamadanchian, friend of mine, says action is your most valuable asset. Right. And he's true. And it's right. If you're going to do it, you might as well just do it. Ricky, at the end of most of my broadcasts, there's one main question that we ask. And the question that I ask, which has everything to do with everything we talked about, is how can I help you? You've done me this great pleasure of being on with me today. I want to know how I can help you grow your business and what I can do personally to help you.
Not a thing, man. Not a thing in the world. Just hopefully somebody listening to this will take something I said and it'll change their career for the better and they can get out there and succeed. That's it.
Well, I know that the main reason that you came on today, you know what, you remember, right? Because we got together and you had to get one of these, right? And that's why everybody comes on. I mean, it's not me. It's just everybody comes on because they love the way the hat looks. You know, other styles. So we're going to be getting you that hat out. Is there anything else you'd like to say to put this tie everything in that we've talked about today?
I mean, I think I've said it all, but at the end of the day, I guess just to summarize the show, I think that, you go to the office, don't talk to anybody, go straight to your desk. Don't worry about what the other agents are doing. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just try to get 1% better every day, making those calls and just trying to build that database. The bigger your database is, the more money you're going to make, right? The more people know who you are, and have a system in place to build that personal brand around that database.
Right.
Okay. And as you're building that database, your income's going to grow. Okay. So the more you're talking to new customers, new clients to filter them into your database, right? And the more time you spend on both new clients and past clients, your business will exponentially grow. As you get to the income level you want, okay, let's say you get to 100,000, that's all you want to make, boom, we'll just start focusing on that sphere that you build, that database, and you'll make that 100,000 every year. If you want to get up to 500,000, a million, wherever it is, you got to continue growing that database until you get there. Then you can focus on just that database, and your income will plateau wherever that level is, wherever you want it to be. So just get out there, build your databases. You know, use my weekly email strategy. There's free training right there on the website.
Okay.
I screen share my computer and build an email for you. So just get in there, make it happen. You know, don't worry about anything. There's nothing to worry about. Business is going to be here forever. Technology isn't going to replace us. And a market crash can't take us out. Market crashes there's so much opportunity. I got back in 2008, and it was the easiest time to sell properties because they were so cheap. So just go get it and believe in yourself.
So I got a question from Dominique Edwards. She says, do you have it? We may have answered this question, but I want to answer because she just typed it out. Do you have
tons of agents in New York, tons, hundreds and hundreds of them in the Long Island, Manhattan, Jersey. If you go to the Zero to Diamond Facebook group, go there and just type in, hey, how many of you guys are in New York, New Jersey area? And you can connect with all the agents that are using my program that are in your area, and you guys can start networking together.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. And Matt, I have your hat. It is here. I've just been waiting to get together with you. You know, we haven't seen it. We live 10 minutes away from each other, and I've gotten to you. But Matt was as we said, this is show 86. We've done 85 weeks in a row. We had an extra show with someone you might know, John Cheplack. He came on. A good friend of mine, by the way. But we had one Friday where we missed. The reason we missed it because I had gotten food poisoning. It actually was the first day I was in bed ever in my entire life. Matt was supposed to be my guest that day. He came the next day, so we did it on Saturday. 85 weeks in a row. I'm glad you were able to join us for show 86. Everybody, yeah. Ricky Carruth, you're on Facebook, right? Just tell people how they can contact you.
The best way is actually Instagram at Ricky Carruth. I answer every single DM. So if you guys have questions or anything I can do to help you, I don't charge for coaching or advice or anything. So that's really the best way. I also have a huge YouTube channel with lots of stuff there. So just whatever I can do to help.
Ricky, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, Ricky is the first and I believe only free coach out there in the country. And he has so much success with his students. They do really, really well. He's got great stuff out there. Ricky, thanks again for coming on. Just stay on for a minute as we go off the show. And thanks everybody for coming on and who watches this now or will watch it later. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Enjoyed it.